As you may know, Elon Musk has become the world's first trillionaire. And while my brain is too small to comprehend this number, I can hardly comprehend a billion, I feel like. It's absolutely insane. So this is what I want to talk about. So let's take a look. Of course, as I said, it's like the hottest news right now. Has happened, obviously, on the day of the SpaceX IPO. And I'm surprised that since the IPO, the price has actually gone up. So you could not actually purchase it until round about here. I guess that was 11:55 a.m. Eastern time. Until then, you just kind of had to wait until Nasdaq actually figured out the supply and demand and kind of balanced everything out so it doesn't become completely unruly and volatile. But I have good news for you. If you had a big FOMO that you were like, oh, I wish I bought it, I wish I put a limit order or like whatever on the very start. If you look, that's where it opened when you could freely buy the shares, $168. And while it's been higher and lower, it actually ended at $160.95 US. And of course, in the aftermarket, it's $166 now, but the whole point is, don't feel bad. Of course, you see this big number, but for this, you had to actually be allocated some IPO shares. And Wealthsimple has been doing that, but they made a rule. Of course, this is very boring, but I think there is a number somewhere here where you can't sell them right away. Perfect, I found it, because I remember it being 90 days. So selling or transferring your shares off the Wealthsimple platform, your IPO shares within 90 days of the IPO is known as flipping. Underwriters discourage flipping and may exclude us from future IPOs if we permit it. If you flip your IPO shares, you may be restricted from participating in upcoming IPO on the Wealthsimple platform in the future. So, of course, technically, you could have made this 20% profit potentially by selling your shares. But again, this is hindsight 2020, first of all. A lot of people have been thinking that it was overvalued and it would go down on the market open. Me, I just know that the market is really rational. I just didn't even try guessing, but it's obviously up, so everything is great. The company is worth $2 trillion and it's the 6th largest company in the world, or in America, which still says a lot. And so there has been some controversial stuff. I'm not sure why, but a lot of these posts have been removed by the moderators. I am not 100% certain why. One of them is quite interesting. It's essentially Elon Musk is the world's first trillionaire. Here are 13 ways to visualize 1 trillion. And of course, obviously, he can't just go ahead and literally spend this trillion. I don't even know if he can go ahead and spend like multiple billions of dollars, but he doesn't need to. The whole point is, on the paper, he's a trillionaire. But yeah, the company raised roughly $75 billion in what became the largest initial public offering ever, surpassing the previous record held by Saudi Aramco. But while trillionaire sounds impressive, it's also a number so large it's difficult to visualize. So just how much money is 1 trillion? And it's a good point. Of course, as I said, he can't really cash it out, but it's very interesting to see nonetheless. Because, as I said, this scale, I feel like humans, I don't know where I read it, but it was like, yeah, humans are not meant to comprehend such big numbers. Even a million, but if you actually put down $1 million, like you can see potentially the stacks, I guess you can comprehend it this way. But it's just such a huge figure. But $1 billion is absolutely insane and close to impossible to comprehend. But now we have $1 trillion. So let's take a look. So every American adult could get nearly $4,800. You could pay for more than 11 million Disneyland vacations at $9,000 per vacation. You could buy $1 million homes. That's more than a city, right? I guess it depends on the size of it. I am just thinking of Calgary, for example, because it's got 102 million people living in it. And I'm certain that most of those houses are not a million. So, oh, wow. I guess you could buy every single house and condo and everything in Calgary and still have maybe some business properties too and still have a lot. 1 million homes, which are all about 1 million. Every public school student could get a free lunch for years, and it's for roughly 28 years at 1.4 billion school years of lunches. Wow. You could pay full college tuitions for millions of students. You can buy more than 20 million new cars. You could hand out $100 bills for more than 31 years. And it's 10 billion $100 bills. Yeah. You could buy every NFL team several times over. You could purchase entire country's annual economic output. You could buy every Starbucks drink ever ordered for years. Every American Netflix subscription for years. You can buy more than 15,000 private islands. It's whatever. But it is true that the number is almost impossible to grasp. I think this is the best way here to comprehend it. 1 million seconds equals about 11.5 days. 1 billion seconds equals 31.7 years. And 1 trillion seconds equals about 31,700 years. Wow, that is pretty insane. I feel like Elon Musk just generally a polarizing figure, and especially with him becoming the world's first trillionaire, it's definitely a polarizing number as well. Some people believe that he deserves it, and others believe that he doesn't. Like, he should not be able to have so much money while they're, kids starving, people unemployed, people who can't afford to, get basic necessities. But what do you think? I have actually read the book about Elon Musk, and he does have an impressive career. It's very interesting how much money he actually put into a lot of his ventures, including SpaceX, before it actually started bringing any money. He kind of put literally all his money on the line to kind of make it work. And it seems to be working right now. And I think it's something similar happened to Tesla anyways. So while I'm certain that he has taken a lot of risks, of course he has a lot of capital, so he can afford to take these risks, but it wasn't always the case. At least that's what I've kind of grasped from the book. He wasn't always obviously a billionaire. But I don't know, is $1 trillion too much? Because, okay, yeah, he put 20 million or 10 million of his own money to build up SpaceX when the rocket blew up back in, 2000s, whatever. Does that warrant, does work ethic of any person, even the hardest working person and the most risk-taking person, does it warrant $1 trillion? Because when Apple crossed $1 trillion, less than a decade ago, it was the biggest deal. And that was the valuation for a company. Here we're talking about a single person. So that, I don't know. I guess maybe over time we'll get desensitized to it, because I'm sure the first $1 billion ever earned was the same outrageous kind of thing. And as I said, when Apple, I think, was the first company to cross 1 trillion, that was a really, really big deal. Again, people kind of freaking out. Yeah, what do you guys think? Does he actually deserve the money? And obviously the market encourages it. So is it Elon Musk's fault or the market's fault, the investors, the Nasdaq, the greed of, the Wall Street, fast tracking a lot of the stuff just to get the IPO going and, again, get as much money themselves as they can? And this is something I'll probably be thinking for the next weeks to come. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Take care.